Good morning. The morning is good. It's a glorious day. How everybody feeling out there? I'm feeling pretty good myself. Was thinking about my truck drivers. We got it. It's the gift and the curse. It's a good paying job, but long hours, away from your family a lot. But it pays pretty good. But to all my company drivers, this message is for you. If you get up every day, every morning, or however you work, and you drive to your destination, get unloaded, pick up another load, and keep on riding, basically you are an owner-operator, just minus the paperwork. So my question to you is, to any of you that's that's a company driver, is just imagine how dedicated you are for this company or that company that you're working for. Like you make sure you're there on time, you do everything right like you're supposed to do. Now they getting a fee off of you. You getting probably paid by the cent. You pay certain cent per mile, or maybe a lump sum a mile. But they still skim some off the top. Now the difference between an owner operator and a company driver, they still skim some off the top, but you get a majority of the load. They get a percentage, but you get a majority of the load. So if you already are getting up, if you're a dedicated company driver, then you will make a hell of an owner operator. It's the same idea. Only difference is you got to take your own taxes out, which means you got to keep track of your receipts just so you can file your taxes right. The easiest way to get behind is to start off wrong. Like if you start off taking your taxes out when you got paid, and either send them off every 3 months or put them in an account to where you don't touch it and you can send it off, I guarantee you will have a long, prosperous truck driving career as an owner operator. That's the main part about it, is being able to keep up with your finances. Don't get your whole check and blow it, knowing that you got you might have truck repairs, you're gonna have fuel and all that. The fuel you can put that in there anyway, in order to make the money. So you'll be putting the fuel in there. It's just the excess money that you have. You can't just go back crazy with it and start spending it. Then once something do happens, because it will happen, and nothing's out here on this road is cheap for a truck driver. It cost me $300 to get the oil change. Now that's something that's done anywhere between 16,000 and 22,000 miles. I run that in a month and a half. So every month and a half is $300 to get my oil change, and that's not even including anything else they find when they do the oil change. So the best way you can do it is put money to the side. As soon as you get paid, like if you get paid and start paying bills first, you're doing it wrong. Because then at the end, you won't have no money for your to keep your truck afloat. So you take your money away from the main pot from the start. You take your money away, stash it to the side. Stash some for taxes, stash some for your truck repairs or any miscellaneous things that come up dealing with your truck while you're out there on the road. But don't start off wrong. I'm telling you from experience, I started off wrong, not taking my money and saving it like I was supposed to. I was just splurging. Me and my wife, we everywhere. You know what I mean? I saved enough to keep my truck running before I was saving it for a better future. That's why I lacked that. And paying my taxes on time. Them penalties will kill you. IRS will kill you with penalties, because and then the penalties, they're gonna charge interest on what you already owe, and that will keep going up until you get it straight with them. They will garnish your wages, put a stop on your bank. They would do everything possible to get their money. So the best way to start off is to start off doing it right. Once you can do that, then it's up to you if you want to get another truck or another truck. I thought about getting another one, but in the long scheme of things, I don't have time to be on top of somebody. Well, I got time, I just don't feel it's beneficial to me. I done weighed the pros and cons, but everybody else, you might see something totally different. Like I don't even worry about the outside noise. I make sure that all my bills are paid first. Yeah, put some to the side for taxes and for my truck to break. I mean, if it break down, and then other than that, I'm pushing forward. But to have somebody else in it, you got to have a dependable driver, because if you put a driver in your truck, he might drive good for a week or two, but then if he start worrying about where the money going, then he gonna be driving less. If you're still paying on that truck, hopefully the one you have is paid off. But if you're still paying on that truck, then that means it's more that's gonna fall on you. So really, the extra truck driver is a hit and miss. Is a game of cat and mouse that you had to play until maybe you get it right. I can say I ain't gonna say I'm not terrified, but I'm scared of the unknown of dealing with an extra driver, if that makes sense. Like I know I can do it because I've been doing it for 12 years. But putting somebody else in there and being, even though they're accountable for how much they drive, it's still on me to make sure they get their money, and I'm responsible for somebody else and their family. So it's a game. I mean, it's something that I wrestle back and forth with. But as of right now, I don't see no. If I do it, it'll be in the future once I get everything else settled. But everybody that's a truck driver, they get up every day, that drives wherever their job tell them to go and come back. You are really an owner-operator that's operating under company status. I like more money. I drive extra. Before they put the quail calm in here, it was lovely out here. I probably would have got another truck by then, but the quail calm made it a little bit different. But since me being on there a year, I understand how it goes now, so it ain't too complicated no more. But to all my owner operators, or to all my company drivers, truck drivers, go ahead and take that step out there. Don't be scared. Like I said, the worst thing, the hardest part of it is money management, taking your money out and dividing it up so you can make sure all your bills get paid. But other than that, everything else is easy. If you get with a company that you're a contractor, I'm a contractor, owner operator that's contracted through Lawrence Transportation. So I just call them up. They read the list of loads they got going out. I tell them what spot I pick. Either they tell me a couple days where I'm going after that, or they tell me for that day. Then the next day I call them, or that evening I call them, and they tell me where I'm going to the next day. So I'm really on top of it. I can choose how far I can go. I can choose how short I can go. I can choose if I want to work today, or if I want to work, if I want to take the week off. When I want to take a vacation. I don't have no health insurance, which is another downside. I don't have no dental insurance, another downside. But in the end, you should make enough to cover all of it. I know that's something that I'm gonna work on. Well, actually, I'm working on it now. Getting a nice health insurance, dental insurance that ain't costing too much. Seems like no matter where you go, health insurance, dental insurance, high as hell. But other than that, the shit is pretty easy. Like I sometimes I think back to when I started. When I first started, I started as a company driver. I didn't think I had what it takes to be an owner operator. But the transportation manager at the time sat me down. He looked at my how much I was riding and compared it to other owner operators. I was doing more miles than they was doing, but I was getting paid way less than they was getting paid, just because I was scared of the paperwork. He gave me a 2-week trial. Told me, look, you get this truck. If you like it, in 2 weeks, we keep on going. If you don't like it in 2 weeks, you turn the truck back in and you keep being a company driver. I never looked back. Never in those 2 weeks did I think, nah, this ain't gonna work for me. I just had a belief that if I keep driving like I'm a company driver, I have no choice but to prosper as an owner operator. So that's how I looked at it for the past 9 or 10 years, I always look at myself as a company driver. They ask me to go somewhere, I'm going. Not because I have to go. It's because when you start working as an owner-operator and you start refusing loads and you start telling them, well, I ain't going here, I ain't going to do that, the dispatchers of a company have more power than their owner when it comes to the drivers and loads. If you don't look out for your dispatcher, then he can easily give your loads to somebody else or give good loads to other people and leave you with all the worst loads they got. DC, in New York City, in Atlanta. If you're a driver, you know what I'm talking about. You're going to places that you don't like to go. I mean, there's heavy traffic, tight spots. So if you show your dispatcher a little bit of favors, do a little bit of favors for him, he'll return it for you. It's a push-pull relationship when it comes to them dispatchers. So I always look out for my dispatchers. I don't try to cuss them out. I ain't got no problem with none of them. If some do arise, I don't mind telling them how I feel, but in a respectful manner, because I'm the owner of my business. So I need to talk to them people like they're part of a business, because they are helping me as well as me helping them. So the moment that you go in there and thinking that you got big nuts and everything can go your way or you out of there, is the moment that they will show you it's easy to replace you. There's plenty of people want to be truck drivers out here. The owner operators and the company drivers. The company drivers separate themselves from owner operators based on the fact that they don't want to deal with paperwork. So I hope this video is helpful to any truck driver out there that's thinking about getting in behind this wheel and making a living. As long as it's freight to be moved, it will always be truck drivers out here. They can't put it all on the railroad track. And even if they did, they got to get it off the railroad track to the individual stores. So go ahead and give it a try. It's the first of the year. Only thing that's holding you back is yourself. If you need any help and want to know any information, hit me up on my Facebook at Cesare Seward, Instagram at CVS34, or you can hit me on Distinguished Gentlemen Incorporated on Instagram, or you can hit me on Distinguished Gentlemen on Facebook. Answer any questions. You can leave some questions at the bottom. I can help you out the best way I can, because I'm in the business of helping people succeed in life. I ain't got time to be holding nobody back. I believe in good karma, so that's what I put out there in the world. Everybody have a lovely day. Only a few days away from Halloween. From New Year's. That's a Halloween. God damn, I'm back. But y'all have a good day, and thank you for your support.